Okay, so welcome back, guys. So in the last session, we have completed the data structures, that is list, tuples, dictionaries, and set. So we have done with the data structures. So in this session, let's talk about comparison operators, logical operators, and conditions. Okay, let's get started with comparison operators first. So coming to the comparison operators, first, what exactly is comparison operators? If you want to compare two variables or two data types, for example, one variable with another variable or one data with other data, it is called as a comparison operator. Means we'll be using an operator to compare. That is called as a comparison operator, as the name says. Let's start with a small example and try to understand how comparison operator works. So we have lots of comparison operators to compare. Like for example, if you want to find out a number is greater than another number or not, you can use comparison operator. Or for example, if a particular number is equal to other number or less than a particular number, or a particular string is equal to another string or not, or a particular substring is present in other string or not, something like that. So if you want to compare all these kinds of systems, you can use this comparison operators. So let's see how exactly it works. So let us start with a simple creating a simple variables. So I'll just say a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20. Okay, a simple two random variables I started with. Now let's start comparing these two variables. So how can I compare these two variables? So I can do like this. I'll just ask to my Python whether a is greater than b or not. So we can use this comparison operator. So this particular symbol is nothing but greater than, which is one of the comparison operator to find out whether one variable is greater than other variable or not. So it is trying to identify. I'm just asking my Python a question that whether this variable is greater than this variable or not. Okay, so obviously it return false. So always the comparison operators will be returning boolean value because you're asking something and you're comparing something and your Python will return it is false or true. Okay, so in this way it is returning false because a is not greater than b. So I'll do in a reverse way, like a is less than b. So your a is, this is nothing but your less than b, so you should be like this, a less than b or not. Okay, so yes, it is true, a is less than b because a is 10 and b is 20. So like this, if you want to compare a particular value is greater than particular value or a particular value is less than particular value, you can use this. But what is the use of comparison operators? It is used when you want to write conditions or when you want to check a specific value is um, greater than or less than a particular value, or when you want to compare two values in your logics. So when you, in your programming, you'll be writing a lot of logics. In that logics, if you want to compare, you can use this kind of operators. Next, for example, if you want to know a particular value is equal to other value or not. So generally, if you say a equal to b, you are just assigning here. If I use a single equal to, if for example, if I'm using a single equal to, you're just assigning that particular value to the other value. Means to this particular value called as a, you are assigning b. But I want to compare whether a is equal to b or not. So when you want to compare, then you have to use double equal to. If you are using double equal to, it means that you are comparing a is equal to b or not. Okay, this is one of the comparison operators. So whenever I say a double equal to b, it is false because both are not equal. Now, for example, let me try to take a value like this. A is equal to 10 and b equal to 10. So here both are equal. And if I say now again, if I use a less than b, or if I use a greater than b, both of the conditions will be false because a is not greater less than b, not greater than b, but equal to b. So this particular condition will be true. So like this, we can use few comparison operators. We can also do like this. See, for example, you have a situation, you have a requirement where either a should be less than b or equal. Both are okay for us. Means either less or equal. Then what we can do, we can use this comparison operator. We have a less than or equal to b. So here this particular comparison operator stands for less than or equal. So when I say less than or equal, it means that either it can be less than or equal, any of those both, but it should not be greater than. That's it. Okay, so it is less than or equal, or you can make greater than or equal. So coming to greater than or equal, like this. So greater than or equal. And remember guys, this equal symbol should be after this. Okay, after greater than or after the less than. So here both are true because it is equal. So less than or equal, any of those is fine, right? So that is the reason it is giving true for both the conditions, because we have equal here, because A equal to B here. Okay. So in that way, here we have these conditions. This is how you will be writing this particular comparison operators. Next, for example, let us assume I'm having a string. For example, hello, and another string, Python. For example, again, if you want to compare these two strings, okay, you can do like this: A equal to B. No. So here greater than less than will not work. I mean, A greater than B or A less than B. It's like comparison of number of characters. That's it. So here you can clearly see that B is greater than A because number of characters of B is greater than A. That's it. No specific comparison other than this. Okay, length of A and length of B internally we can say. Cool. Next, one more important thing is, for example, let us assume A is yellow and B is uppercase yellow. So here also, if you try to compare, obviously A is equal to B. No, because even it's case sensitive. It's very, very important. No, for example, you got a situation where you need to compare of two strings. Even though they are case sensitive, it should be equal. Means, for example, even though they are uppercase and lowercase, they should be equal. Means, I mean, for example, we have yellow and yellow here. Both are equal, but only the uppercase and lowercase. So in that case, you should normalize your strings. What is meant by normalizing strings? Either you make both the string lowercase, completely lower, or make both case uppercase. So here I want to compare excluding the case. Okay, I want to compare two strings excluding the case. Then you can use this. So for example, if I say a dot lower and b dot lower, it works. Means what I'm doing, both the strings I'm normalizing to lower cases only. This is a one way of comparison we use a lot when you want to exclude the cases when you are comparing two strings. So in this way you can see you'll be getting true because you're making both lower. And we have discussed this particular function in your string session, how to lower your string, right? How to create a lower case. Generally we use lower case rather than upper case to compare two strings if you want to avoid the case. Okay. In the same way, for example, let us assume you have a string like this. Okay. And another string like this. Now I want to know whether this particular string called as Python is present in A or not. Means I want to know whether a particular substring is present in the main string or not. Okay. Then what we can do here is we can use a specific keyword in Python that is called as in. So in is also a comparison operator which will be helping us to find out whether a particular either a particular substring or a particular element is present in a particular data structure or not. Okay. So in keyword can be used for string, can be used for list, it can be used for dictionary, all those things. We'll see that. We'll see one by one. First, I want to see whether B is present in A or not. Means a part of B. I mean, B is present in a part of A or not. Whether B is present in not comparison. Here, comparison means A should be exactly equal to B. Right. Here, when you say comparison of, I mean, when I say comparison of equal to, then your A should be exactly equal to B. But not, I'm not doing the equal to operator. But I want to find out whether B is present in A. This is one type of comparison operator. So we can simply say B in A. Okay, it's the keyword is B in A. If I say B in A, whether B is present in A or not, it says true. Yes, B is present in A. If I say A and B, obviously I'll be getting false. So A and B will be getting true only when all the when hello Python is present in B, but hello Python is not present in P. Only Python is present. So B in A is true. Okay, like this. Like it's like a subset and superset concept. Okay, and next, not only your substring. For example, if you want to know a specific character, for example, H is present in A or not. So I can say like this: H, this particular character H, okay, is in A. So this is not a variable right now. It's just a character. I'm just finding out whether the particular character is present in A or not. Yes. So this will be helping a lot when you are when you want to find out a specific string is present, a specific character is present in a string or not. I'll take a small use case. For example, I'm having a string like this, and I want to know, and here I'm having like this. Okay. So I want to know it's a website or not. Okay. So if you want to know it's a website or not, you should find out whether www. We can also use starts with. Apart from starts with, you can also use this. For example, a particular string called as www is present in yes, and .com is present. Then obviously it's a website, right? So you can do like this. So I can say like this www in yes. So if it returns true, obviously it's a website. Okay, because and also you can, for confirmation, you can say .com. So you can simply say .com. We'll talk about this, how to combine this also, we'll see. .com in yes. So both are true. So if both are true, then obviously it's a website, right? So like this, you can find out whether a particular substring is present in a string or not. Not only that, you can also try the same thing for list also. For example, I'm having a list like this. Okay, list of elements, right, whenever we declare something in a square brackets, it's nothing but a list. Now I want to know a element called as 5 is present in list or not. So I can simply say 5 in L. Okay, when I say 5 in L, yes, it is present. Or if I say LO in L, and it's case sensitive, obviously true. So like this, for example, if I say data in L, obviously it is false. So like this, I can also find out a particular element is present in the list or not for my confirmation. The same thing we can do for tuple. The same thing you can do for tuple. You can see. And the same thing, let's see for set. Okay, I can do the same thing for set also. This is nothing but a set here. Okay, I'm taking a set here and I'm finding out whether LO is present in this set or not. Yes, that is yes. Okay, it is not, it is, of course, it should be capital H, it is case sensitive. Yes, it is present. So in this way, you can identify whether a particular element is present in set, list, a tuple. But how do you work with dictionary in general? For example, if you want to find out a key or a value is present in dictionary or not. First, let me create a dictionary first. A random dictionary I'll create, okay, with some elements, and see whether how can I compare or how can I use this in keyword to find out something in the dictionary. Okay. Okay. So some random elements I'm taking right now in the dictionary. Okay. So once I take a dictionary like this, for example, you want to know whether a key called as age is present in this dictionary or not. You can do like this. For example, age in D, it says true. But I want to know whether a value called as Abhishek is present in this D or not. If I say Abhishek in D, it says false. Because what happens is the moment you try to find out something in dictionary, it is always looking at keys only keys. So for example, if you say name in D, it works. It says true. If you say age in D, it says true. If you say city in D, it says true. But if you say some value, like for example, Abhishek in D, it doesn't work. I mean, it will say false. So it is always, first, it is looking at only keys, not at the values. Then how do I look at the values? My target is right now, I want to find out a specific value is present in the dictionary values or not. A specific, for example, Abhishek is present in the dictionary values or not. If it is present, I should get true. How can I do that? Just pause this video and try to understand. Try to guess how can we actually compare values. And the int for you people is you can use some dictionary functions to do that. Okay. Okay. Now let's see how can you actually compare values. By default, it is comparing keys, right? If you want to compare values in dictionary, we have a function called as values itself. So what values does is it will return all the values like this, right? So these are all the values. Okay. And if you want to compare the values, you can simply say like this, Abhishek in D dot values. So if you say Abhishek in D dot values, you can see it is comparing the values, but not the keys. So like this, you can see it is saying true. So like this, if you want to compare a values, you can do like this. d dot values. If you want to compare a key by default without using any kind of function, you can directly compare whether the particular key is present in the dictionary or not. So in that way, we can use in keyword to compare, to find out a particular data structure or particular element is present in a particular data structure or not. Cool. Now let's proceed with talking about next concept, that is logical operators. Why we use logical operators? Let's make an example here. See, right now let's take an example of this particular website itself. Now my target is to find out a particular string is a website or not. Of course, we already have the starts with and ends with option, but here we have learned about in keyword. Let's talk about that in keyword only. Now, a website is something which has both, either it should have www, starts with www and ends with your .com or .org or .in, something like that. So I want to combine these two conditions. Right now, these both are separate. I mean, in one line, I am finding out whether it is having www or not, and other line I'm comparing whether it is having .com or not. But I want to combine these two conditions, then we can use logical operators. Means when you want to combine two or more conditions, we can use logical operators. Basically, coming to the logical operators, let us discuss few logical operators, that is and, or, and not. Okay, and, or, and not. These are the major logical operators we have. Before talking about not, I should also talk about this one more logical operators which I forgot to tell you. Here we are seeing that, for example, if I'm saying a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 10, right? So if you want to compare that whether these both are equal or not, you do like this: a equal to b, and you would get true. But if you want to know whether they're not equal also, you can do like this: a not equal to b. This is nothing but not equal to symbol. This indicates a not equal to symbol. Okay, this exclamation and equal indicates a not equal to symbol. Okay, false. So here we are getting false because both are equal actually. But if you try with this values, and if I say a not equal to b, I would get true because these both are not equal. So like this also you can try to find out whether equal to and not equal to also. However, we also have a keyword called as not, which can be used in some cases. Let's see that. Okay. First, let me combine these two conditions. So let me write like this. So www. Okay. Whether www is present in yes, yes it is present, and .com is present in yes, yes it is present. Now, when I want to combine these two conditions, I can do like this. I can do like this. Brackets, I would recommend having brackets. It will be helpful for us to differentiate the conditions. Okay. So, and this one. So why I'm using and operator? Because both should be equal. So whenever I'm using an and logical operator, whenever I'm using an and logical operators, and logical operator will return true when all the conditions are true. So right now we have only two conditions. We can combine two or more conditions also, but right now we are combining only two conditions. So when all the two conditions, or when all the conditions are true only, it will return true. So when you want to find out it's a website or not, both the conditions should be true. Either we should have www, or and also we should have .com or .org or .in. For now, let us assume we are only looking at .com's domains. Okay, not .in .org. However, I'll tell you how to write .org and .in also. Don't worry. But yeah, so I want to have both www and also .com. So that is the reason and. So and tells us both should be equal. So then it will return true. Yes, when it has both, yes, it is true. So what and does? And will return true when both are true. So let me show a simple example of and works, how it works. I mean more clearly with different examples. For example, if I say like this, I'm directly writing this one. For example, true and true. True and true is true. Okay. Whereas true and false. For example, let us assume a condition is saying true, a condition is true, and another condition is false, then it will be false. And obviously false and true, false and false is also false obviously, and true is also false. So here from this I can conclude that when you are combining your conditions with and, okay, when you are combining your conditions with and compulsory both the conditions should be true. If any one of the conditions are false, then your entire condition will be false. Okay, that is the main idea behind AND. And that if you talked about the truth table of AND, it will be something like this. If you learned about that, so like 1 1 is always 1, 1 0 is 0, 0 1 is 0, 0 0 is 0. Means what here? For example, if it is true true, it is true. True false, false, false true, true. Because we already know, right? In by default, what we call by default, true is 1 and false is 0. That is the reason I have taken this example. Okay. Now let's try with some more examples. For example, here A is 10 and B is 20. For example, A is 10 and B is 20. Now I want to find out and also take a one more variable called as C is 30. Okay. So I want to find out some condition, something like this. Okay. So I'll do like this, something like this. Okay. So first I'll find out whether A is equal to B or not, or A is less than B, for example. A is less than B and B is less than C, something like that. So first thing, let's see what happens here. First thing is A less than B. Yes. And is B less than C? Yes. So both are true. So it is true. Now by chance, if I reverse this condition, for example, if I say A less than B and B greater than A. So here this condition is true. Yes. This condition is true. No. B is not greater than B. B is not greater than C. Sorry. So obviously I'll be getting false here because this condition is false. Like this, if you want to combine two or more conditions, you can do this. You can also combine multiple conditions. For example, like this I'm having, and you can combine like this, and C is greater than A. So you can see here, when I say C is greater than A, here if you just look at this, this condition is true, this condition is true, and this condition is also true, right? It will return true. By chance, if I say C is less than, is C less than A? No, false. So like this, you can compare multiple conditions, or you can combine multiple conditions at a single go. And I would recommend brackets in this way. And moreover, if you are combining two or more conditions, also it's very important to have brackets. For example, if I'm having a bracket something like this, it means that you are combining this you are combining or you are comparing this condition with entire this condition. Means if this is true and this is true, this becomes true. If this is true and this is not true, it will be false, something like that. So you'll be learning. Once you start practicing it, you'll be learning about all these things. Okay, these are AND works. Now let's look at OR. Okay, we talked about AND, right? OR. Now let's look at OR operator. So how OR operator works is, if any of the condition in OR is true, then the result will be true. Means in OR, at least one condition should be true. If at least one condition is true, then it will be true. If no conditions are true, it will be false. Something like that. Okay. So let me take an example here. For example, you have like this only. Let me take the website example only. Okay. I'll take the website example only. So you have like this. You are combining this with whether you want to find out whether we have www in yes or not and .com in yes. But we clearly know that your websites end with .com, or it might be .org, .in or .co, anything of this, right? It should not compulsory be .com only. It can be .in. For example, if I say for example, any random website I'll take, okay, data.in. So data.in. If I say data.in, obviously this will be false, but it's actually true because it's a website. I want to find out a string is website or not, but this is actually true, but it is written false because I'm only checking whether it is .com or not. So in this case, I can use OR operator. In this case, how I can use OR operator means, I'll do one thing. I'll only check the last condition right now. I'm only focusing on last condition right now. Okay. First condition, we know it should be www. That is cool. But last condition is .com, whether it is .com or not. But I want to make it either it may be .com or .in or .co.in anything, any of the random what we call like whatever the uh, organization, whatever it ends with. Okay, so how can I do that is, I can say .com is in yes, .com is in yes, no, it is false. So I want to make an OR condition right now. So any of this, or either it may be .com in yes, or it can be Either it can be .com in yes, or it can be .in yes. So observe here, .in yes, or it might be, so any of this should satisfies, or it should be .co.in yes. Okay. However, if it is .in, obviously it will be .co.in. So I don't want to write this. Maybe .org in yes, or .tech, or now we are getting something called as .ai. So I'll just say .ai in yes. So something like this. So if any of these conditions satisfy also, it should return true, because your website can end with any of these three or four. It may be four, more than four also, but for now I'm limiting to four. So it can be any of these four, right? So like this, true. So it is returning true. So in this way you can find out whether your website is, whether it's a website or not in the last condition. Okay. But if you just look at here, you're writing four conditions here. However, we can limit it to one condition. I'll show you that one also, but don't worry about this. First, let me start with this. Okay. So in this way, you can do like this. Now I'll combine these two conditions. So here you can just see here, this is false, and this is false, but this is true. And this is true, we got true. By chance, for example, if I say .tech, and here none of the conditions will satisfy. So this is false, this is false, this is false, and this is false. So all entire will become false. So in our condition, at least one condition should be true. Okay. Okay, cool. So you can also add .tech here, but I don't want to add right now. Okay. So now let's try to combine multiple conditions of and or. Now I'll combine both and or. You can combine and or. So it is something like this. For the same websites, I can do like this. What I can do is, if www is in yes, okay, and this one, entire bracket, I'll take a bracket and write like this. Okay. So what I'm doing here is, first I'm checking whether www is present in yes or not. Very good. Perfect. And this entire condition is present in yes or not. So I'm checking, this is one condition and this entire thing is one condition. These both are compared in like this. So this is true. This is true. We know that already. And in this is also true. These entire conditions will be getting a true because .in is present. So now it is true. It's a website. So like this we will compare. These brackets are important. By chance, if I don't have brackets, let's see what happens. By chance, if I don't have brackets, of course, you'll be getting true, because here also we have true. I mean, you're comparing these all things, but I would recommend brackets to have a proper understanding of how exactly this is. I mean, how exactly this works, and to avoid the confusion in terms of conditions. Okay. Sometimes in some cases you might get false also, you might get other results also if you don't use this kinds of parenthesis. Okay. To differentiate your conditions. Okay. So in this case, you're getting true, well and good, but in some cases you might not. Okay. So it's very important. Okay. So in this way, you can combine multiple conditions using this particular operators and or. Let me take one more examples of and or, and let's proceed with other concept. Okay. So here, for example, I can do like this. Here A is less than B. Yes. Or so if we just look at this, in this case, this condition is true because A is less than B, is exactly. But here this condition is false. B is greater than C. This condition is false. But it will become true. The entire output will return true because here we are working with OR condition. Any of this should be true. So it is something like this. So if I talk about OR, it is something like this. True or true. It is true because both are true. True or false. It is also true, or false or true, it is true. But if we say, you'll be getting only false when both are false, something like this. So if we take the truth table of this, of your OR, it will be something like this. Truth table of your OR will be something like this. 1 1 is 1, 1 0 is 1, 1 0 is 1, 0 0 is 0. Oh, here I forgot. Yeah, it should be 0 here. Sorry. So 0 0 should be 0. Okay. I made a mistake here, guys. It's 0 0 should be 0. Here 0 0 is also 0. Perfect. So in this way, the truth table of your OR looks. Okay. Cool. So in this way, you're done with your logical operator. Yeah, we have something as not. Not. Let's discuss about not. Not also like it's reverse of equal to something like that. For example, let us assume that you have a string called as Python. Okay. You want to find out whether H is present in N or not. So what you do, whether H is present in yes or no, you can say like this: H in yes. Okay, we would get true. But if you want to find out whether a word called as maybe A is in or not, okay, in yes or not, you would get false. But I want to find out A not in yes. So A not in yes means what? Whether A is not in yes or not. Yes, A is not in yes, true. We would get like this. So not is exactly opposite of that. So not operator is something like that, which will tells us whether A is not in yes. Yes, A is not in yes, it is true. So in some cases, this also works. I mean, instead of using n, if you want to satisfy, or if you want to go to that particular condition, okay, or if you want to satisfy the condition when that particular character is not in this particular this thing, then you can use this. For taking a simple example, I'll take a small example here to make you understand how exactly it should work. For example, I'm having a string like this, accounting policy. Okay, policy. Okay, I should go into the, I should satisfy this condition only when a word called as maybe a word called as finance is not present in this string. Okay, a word called as finance is not present in this string. I should return true. So I can say like this: finance in not in yes. So here I need to satisfy only when finance is not in A. So I'll say like this: finance not in A. So in that case, you can use not in A. So yes, finance is not in A. So you can say true. So like this, if you want to know whether a specific string is not in present in A or not, also you can use this particular not logical operator. So in this way, these are the few logical operators you can work with when you're working with conditions. So in this way, we are done with your logical operators and comparison operators. And now let's start with conditions.